Here I will give you a quick guide on how, why and when to implement the front squats into your training. The front squat is a squat variation where the bar rests on your front deltoids rather than on your back. This forces you to stay upright and brace really hard to prevent the bar from slipping forward. Because you will be forced to be more upright, the tension will move away from your lower back and into your quads, making it a great option for giving your lower back a rest while still getting volume that will transfer to the regular back squat. Because you are forced to brace harder and keep your back straight, this is also a great exercise to strengthen your thoracic extensors. The front squat originated from Olympic weightlifters as a way to improve the strength from the hold after the second pull of a full clean. Editor 1 here, apparently I got the timeline wrong. The front squat originated in the late 1800s by all-time strongmen. By the 1950s and 60s it had become really popular amongst weightlifters and bodybuilders. And then, when powerlifting became a thing, many decided to implement it into their training. And while that is the traditional form, the exercise has been modified by different strength athletes from different sports. Pro bodybuilders typically use a cross grip when they don't have enough mobility to get in a front rack position. Some powerlifters use a vest attachment to take some of the stability demands off, and a few strongman or general strength enthusiasts might even do a zombie squat to increase the core demands even further. Due to the increased core and quad demands of a front squat as well as the decreased involvement of the posterior chain, the weight you will be using here will likely be 15 to 20% less than on a regular high bar squat. Because personally I've only really used the front rack position and dabble a bit on the zombie front squat, I will mainly be talking about those ones. However, most of the tips here will likely serve you on the other grips as well. To do a front squat, set the bar at the same level as you would for a regular high bar squat. Center your chest with the middle of the knurling between the smooths. Then, put the upper half of your index and middle fingers on the smooth. From here, walk into a front rack position while keeping the weight on your shoulders. Brace and walk the bar out the rack. Let the air out and brace again. As you hold your breath, think about keeping your chest up and start the movement from your knees, and only involve the hips once your knees cannot move any further. Once you have hit depth, start the concentric phase in a similar way to the eccentric. First with the hip extensors, and then with the knees to keep you balanced. And again, think about keeping your chest up as you ascend. Now you have successfully performed a front squat. A zombie squat is relatively similar. The only difference is that your arms are extended, but you also have to be centered and all that. For this variation, think about keeping not only your chest up, but also your elbows, as you don't want the bar to start rolling into your arms. I don't really use the bodybuilder grip and I don't have a lot of experience with it, but when I have tried it before, it has felt somewhat unstable. However, I'm not gonna talk about it too much here. I'm not a fan of the vest attachment either, as it takes away most of the bracing demands for a regular front squat, but I guess it can be a good option if you have poor mobility or poor shoulder development. That being said, I don't have a lot of experience using it. This lift is a bit more advanced than others that I have covered. If you are just learning how to back squat, I wouldn't recommend you try this, as it is very easy to mix the cues for both movements, which although similar have important differences. At first, core strength will be the limiting factor, but eventually quads will be the limiting factor. Because of that, I would highly recommend you wait until you can back squat in the ballpark of 130 kilograms or so before trying this, such that you have enough core strength to be able to work on your technique while doing this. At this point you can start with a light weight. If you followed my advice, 60 kilograms would be a good place, and then take a month or so to focus mostly on technique and bracing properly. After you are at a point where core stability is not a big issue, then you can start rapid weight increases by adding 5 kilograms or so per week. I recommend you train this with 3 to 5 reps on the 4 to 6 rep range and only try higher reps than that once you are experienced on this. This is because this lift is somewhat technical, and I personally believe that it's better to train technique with lower reps in order to prevent cardiovascular fatigue from ruining your form. This lift is an accessory for your squat as a way to strengthen the quads and core while giving your lower back a little rest. If you find that your knees are caving in or that your back is collapsing forward leading to a squat morning, this exercise is also a great way to fix that, as these are usually caused by your quads shifting weight to the posterior chain due to a lack of strength from the quads. The front squat is also a good accessory for your deadlift, especially if you deadlift with a rounded back. By strengthening your thoracic extensors and strengthening your core, it can improve your bracing for the deadlift and as such lower your chances of injury. Well, hopefully you found this video somewhat helpful. Remember to like, subscribe, share this video around, and yeah, stay tuned for another one.